So then it would maybe be some of the boundary setting. Okay. So hypothetically, if I was the female, I might say something like, okay, I've been really thinking about this. And one of the reasons why I was not wanting you to flip the chicken the way you were doing is that grease is going to get over there. And I'm just looking at all the dishes. And normally I'm the one who cleans it up. So I think if we agree that, like, if you're cooking, you're also doing the cleaning, I'd be able to relax a little bit more. And I also think, like, to help it feel like this act of care, if that's what you're doing, since I normally cook, if you want it to be special, I don't really want to participate. So next time you invite me to participate, what is it that you'd need me to say to decline that, so that way I can have fun and not get into that mode that I got into that didn't feel good to either of us. So the important thing to remember is, like, what is the need, right? And it is, like, to not feel responsible, right? To not be like, oh my goodness, all this stuff is going to fall on me. And that also means you have to be okay to not do the dishes. And we can talk about that in the other tasks. And ownership, but that is, like, kind of what you're looking for, of that boundary setting of just, like, if the dishes are my responsibility, that's great. But if you're doing this, that means, like, you are trying to, like, take care of me and show these things, and these are the ways that I need that to happen. So the other person might be like, okay, yeah, what I would need is, like, that reminder that, hey, I love you, and, like, I always am down to help, but we know where this goes, and so this is me protecting the relationship, and maybe, like, give me a hug or something. Okay, I can do that, right? And so that would be an example of, like, using the boundary worksheet, kind of understanding what it would be and what are those action items that you need for that. And so that way you're coming from a place of knowing that, like, oh, wow, okay, there is grease and stuff spouting anywhere, but you remind yourself, not my responsibility to clean up, like, and I can acknowledge that. I can use the ADHD, like, pillar tool of, ooh, thank you for this dinner. Like, I know these things, like, are a lot of, like, executive functioning work, and you did it, and I'm really excited to eat it. And also so excited that, like, that you're cleaning up and that I can count on you to do that, right? So lead with, like, the positive supports, and that also, like, reminder of those things. And that way you're coming from appreciation. And it's just like, when I see that clean kitchen tomorrow, like, I will feel jaw dropped to the floor, cared for, because I know that's really challenging for you. So you're acknowledging the effort. Once again, you're talking about these things because there might be other messages that they've heard that doesn't feel good to have that, like, make a big deal. And so that's some of your work to understand, like, how do you embrace your brain and how do you embrace what's hard for you? Because just telling yourself, well, it should be easy, probably hasn't gotten you very far. And so we want to learn different tools and just try these on and see how it feels. But hopefully this is, like, an example of what, like, the boundary setting would be, so that way the act itself can happen. And then also how that would look using the intentional dialogue, which you would start off with the value statement, the grounding statements, the appreciation, using the intentional dialogue, acknowledging what went well in that conversation, and then doing something fun.